Hey y'all, welcome to the Reprioritizing Self YouTube channel where we discuss tips, strategies, and the real ish that comes with reprioritizing ourselves in this society. This channel is for any and everyone who does a fabulous job at taking care of everyone else around them, but always ends up putting themselves at the bottom of the list or just even lower on the list, right? I am Kiara. I'm a healer and a trauma healing coach. And this is my fabulous co-host.
Yes, I'm Larisha. I'm a counselor, wellness facilitator, and founder of Wellness Brand with Love LC. And we are your co-hosts. Welcome in, y'all.
Welcome,
So
y'all.
this episode is really exciting. We'll be exploring the power of prioritizing our healing in ways from our inner world outside to our skincare. So today we have LaRonda, and she's here to share how she helps heal others through her offerings, as well as how she's navigating her own healing journey.
Yes, I love that part of this show is the personal. But yes, y'all stick around for the end of the episode. We have our crystal affirmation and reflection questions for you to support your healing journey. And make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification button so you know when these new videos are coming for you. And please smash that like button. All right, so let's get into this. We want to know who's coming to the
Yes.
show.
Yes. So again, y'all, today is really juicy. We'll be discussing balance, boundaries, and beautiful skin. So let's get into meeting our guest for today. So meet LaRonda Sullivan, affectionately known as Coco, your favorite bomb-ass esthetician in the Bay Area. With 5 years of experience licensed as an esthetician and a passion for enhancing natural beauty, she is dedicated to providing top-notch skincare services that leave her clients feeling and looking their best. Welcome in, LaRonda.
Welcome, Miranda.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. Yay. So we're going to get into this check-in question. We are in the season. We're in the fall. We're in the autumn. We're starting to turn down for the year. And we also, start to acknowledge our ancestors and the folks who came before us. This is usually that time where we're paying homage to them, particularly, right? So wondering for you all, how are you acknowledging and honoring your ancestors right now? And I'm going to throw it over to you, LaRonda, to hear what's coming up for you as you're checking in with your folks.
Thank you. Thank you. For me, the way that I honor my ancestors is I have an altar at home. My husband put a collage together with 11 of our ancestors. They passed, majority of them, 10 of them passed away within a 2 year span. So it was really tough on our family. So I have an altar up there, and then on the altar, I have some of their items on there. And, sometimes I just sit there and I talk to them and I have conversations with them. And another thing that I do, I had to find a way to keep my peace. So I created a product line called Birds of Paradise. And so far, I am honoring two of my ancestors in that product line because if it doesn't feel right to me, I won't put it out. So I've been on the back end, working on other products for a couple of the other ancestors that I'm honoring.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that.
No problem.
How about you, Larisha? How are you honoring your ancestors and acknowledging them right now?
Yes, I love this question. For me, what's been coming up is writing. So I have wrote letters to my granny and my auntie, and just checking in with them and expressing what's coming up. That has felt very healing during this time. Just also reflecting on memories that I've had. So just positive memories and things that remind me of them, like certain scents, or I'll hear a certain song or a certain phrase and think of them. I'm like, oh no, I know you're here. Like, there's no other way or reason I would be hearing this or seeing this right now. So thank you. So in those moments when I get those messages and those feelings, sitting there and just thanking them and loving on them, cooking meals that remind me of them. Whenever I cook mushrooms, I think of my dad. When I was younger, I could not stand mushrooms, but now I love them. So things like that, definitely. And how about you, Kier?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I resonate with a lot of what you all said. I have an altar at home, and I've also been just noticing those signs of like hey, we're here. Just, want you to know we're around. And just really appreciating those, like spending time like in whatever that is, like seeing the butterfly or whatever it is that's coming through, that is like, hey, we're good and we're here. And just really spending time and not taking that for granted, those little reminders. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for sharing, and thank you, ancestors, for keeping us, for holding us down. Really, yeah, we're in that time, and we are honoring you right now. So, but let's get into this interview. I am so ready to hear more, LaRonda, and I just want to just throw it over to Larisha to get us started, so we can get into these questions.
Yes, yes. So our first question for this interview is, can you share with our audience a little bit about what inspired you to become an esthetician, and also what does balance and boundaries mean to you?
Believe it or not, I was teased a lot as a child because of my dark skin. So I actually hated my skin growing up. I went to cosmetology school in around 2004, to do the cosmetology program. And I was 64 hours away from getting my license because you need 1,600 hours. But I completed the 2 years at Laney and had the graduation, and I just didn't want to go back. I wasn't inspired by, the instructors that we had, and just being in the environment that I was in at the time. I wasn't interested in continuing. So fast forward, I met my husband when we were teenagers, but we didn't start dating until I was in my early 20s, and I was being a wife and a mom and doing all the stuff that I thought that I was supposed to do as a woman. And I realized that I wasn't happy. Well, I was happy with everything except for like my career, and I wanted to do something for myself. So I sat my family down and told them that I wanted to go back to school to become an esthetician because I always loved the aesthetics part. And they were very supportive. I went back to school and I passed my state exam in 2018 and obtained my license. So yeah, so that's what inspired me to become an esthetician, doing something for myself because I needed that, something for me. And what was the next question? I'm sorry.
That's okay. What does balance and boundaries mean to you?
Oh, setting boundaries. Oh my gosh. I didn't learn what boundaries were and how to implement them until maybe about 3, 4 years ago. Um, for me, boundaries is saying no with no explanation, being okay with saying no, and just being comfortable with the decision that you're making.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your journey, a little bit about your journey and like how you got here. And that tenacity of like, okay, like I'm coming back. I'm doing the thing that brings me joy, that brings me excitement, and that I feel aligned to. I love hearing that. So our next question for you is, how have you navigated prioritizing yourself in the work that you do? I know you're taking care of a lot of other people in this work. How are you prioritizing yourself? And also, how have you navigated balance and harmony, and how is that impacting your own healing journey?
I've always, well, when I first started, I always made myself available for people. So I was ripping and running all the time. I'll go from dealing with my kids and my husband to dealing with clients, and it was just a back and forth thing. And I realized I was burning myself out, and I also was still working my 9 to 5. So I was burning myself out. So what I did was, while working my 9 to 5, I set certain days that I will work at the shop. And I mean, every once in a while, I still would, bring someone in on those days, if it was, an emergency or something like that, or somebody was going out of town. But for the most part, I have my set days off. And those are the days where I, have my appointments. I might want to just go sit by the water that day. I might just want to work on content that day. So I have like kind of like my self-care / admin days, because depending on how I feel that week and what's going on that week, it'll determine what I will do. I make sure that I've never done this. I didn't do this prior to this, but I never sat with myself and I never did stuff alone. So now I think it's weird to my family because they're like, oh, you just want us here. And I'm like, actually, I don't. I want to be by myself. So I do a lot of stuff by myself now. I'll go to events by myself. Going out of town, to Georgia by myself. Although I have family out there, I'll go out there by myself. They're at work. I'm sitting in the house by myself doing what I want to do. I make time for my family, of course. Make time for my friends. Just different things like that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's so important, especially as you mentioned, navigating your home duties, your roles, as well as a 9-to-5 on top of your own business and entrepreneurship. There's like there's no one that's going to be like, you doing too much, or like, there's no guide, like nothing. So you kind of like figure it out as you go. So I really appreciate you naming that. Like at first it was go, 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 but now you're taking the time to pause and have that time with yourself and to expand and like feel comfort in spending time with yourself. Cause I've also experienced that where it's like, I got to do all these things. And then I'm like, wait, I'm not pouring it. Just trying to figure out how to like pour into all those different aspects and different avenues of that make us, feel like we're taking care of ourselves and we're also contributing to what feels important to us. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I did realize I had a part 2 to that question that I missed. So I'm wondering for you, I think as Black women, as Black folks, we can feel guilty for like taking care of ourselves, for prioritizing ourselves over other things. And I just wonder how you navigate that, like those feelings, if that comes up for you, or how you have navigated that to not feel those feelings when you do take care of yourself.
I definitely felt guilty a lot of the times, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could have did this with the kids, or I could have spent more time with my husband, or and stuff like that. But I realized that I can't give to them from an empty cup. So in order for me to keep my cup full, I have to prioritize myself, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying they won't take care of me, but at the end of the day, who's going to take care of me when I'm down, when I'm usually the one that everyone depends on? So you got to keep that cup full. So if it takes for you to go sit by yourself, if it takes for you to sit and read a book, write, journal, whatever you need to do, you have to do it and not feel guilty about it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. And thank you, Larisha, for letting me squeeze that in.
Of course. It's important. So important. So we're all wondering, we need to know, how can we, our audience, incorporate intentional skincare practices into their routine? How can we get our skin popping, glowing? What we need to know? What's the tea?
So it's so funny because I'm actually getting ready to do a recording on different levels, because you got the beginner and you got the advanced. So I feel like everyone should have at least a beginner skincare routine. If that's just you cleansing, toning, and moisturizing, cleansing, exfoliating, toning, and moisturizing, you need to have at least those 4 things in your routine. So you want to make sure that in the morning, the evening, because that's usually when we're sweaty and, have all the debris and stuff on our face. In the evening, I recommend doing a double cleanse. So that's cleansing your face one time, and then going back, and after you rinsing that off, go back and cleanse it again. And then if it's the time for you to exfoliate, you're going to exfoliate that skin with the gentle exfoliant. And then you're going to tone your skin after that, and then moisturize and not sunscreen in the evening. And that's all you're going to do for the night. In the morning, you're going to get up and you're going to cleanse that skin again and get all that whatever you got on your pillow off your face. And then you can tone your skin and then moisturize it and put your sunscreen on to protect you, throughout the day. If you want to be more advanced, you can add serums. There's different levels of scrubs. They have gentle exfoliants that you could use, more frequently. And then they have more chemical and mechanical exfoliants that you can use, and those have to be used less. Usually the chemical ones, they have to be done by a licensed professional. But you can add all the serums, the eye creams and, the hyperpigmentation creams and serums and stuff like that. So it depends on where, how far you want to take it, how much money you want to spend. But I always make sure I have different levels of skincare routines for people, depending on, I want to meet people where they are.
I love that. And that it's a kind of a part 2. I know when I first ever went to get my first facial, and I told the provider that I just put on lotion, she looked at me like, girl, like, you need to do this, and this. I was overwhelmed. So thank you so much for breaking it down for each level, the beginner, intermediate, advanced, and like letting folks fall where they are, and really just emphasizing that it's okay to be wherever you are, but also prioritizing that day, that morning, and that evening ritual.
Yes.
So that also, the second part of that question is, now that we're getting into the cooler months, the drier months, is there anything that you recommend for folks like taking care of their skin during this season?
Yes, usually in the colder months, people need more of a thicker moisturizer. In the summertime, we tend to use, like for me, in the summertime, sometimes I have to do a light moisturizer. And that's also, a light moisturizer is also good for people with oily skin, because if you have oily skin, you don't need to be caking up cream, on your face. So a light gel moisturizer, in the hotter months. And then in the wintertime, you want to use something thicker. So a cream-based moisturizer, because we tend to get dry in certain areas. But of course, everyone's skin is different. So, that's for the, that's like a ballpark for everyone.
Thank you for sharing that. Because I know for me, I'm like, I have a very particular things that I use, and I'm terrified to try anything else in fear that my skin is gonna like have a negative reaction. So I'm wondering for you, LaRonda, like, how do you recommend folks try new products, or like if they're wanting to expand a little bit, how do you recommend folks do that in a way that is safe and not like now your skin is like going through all these different changes because you're trying all these new products at once?
Okay. One, I love to tell people to do a patch test. You can do a patch test like on the back of your neck or something like that. So if you do break out, it's not as noticeable. And one thing, please don't use a whole bunch of different new products at one time. Introduce your skin to one product at a time so that you can see what the reaction is. Because if you do all that stuff at one time, you're not going to know what you're having a reaction to. So one product at a time, and always do a patch test. And then you also can do a patch test in the, on the inner part of your wrist as well.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know I'm like, I want to try the things and do the things, but I'm terrified.
Sometimes I do it to myself, and I've definitely jacked my skin up because I'm like, oh, I'm an esthetician. I got this. I know what's in this. I can do this. But I definitely have done some stuff to my skin.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that. One other question I have, just because you did mention like the more chemical and like, I don't know, the chemical based products, right? Wondering for like, what would the intention be for those type of products? Like what type of skin would somebody have that is trying to use like more chemical based products, and like what is the benefits to those?
Chemical-based products are, of course, more stronger for the skin. It helps take off that first layer that a lot of people want to get rid of because of the hyperpigmentation and stuff like that. But it's not for everyone's skin. Believe it or not, I've never had a chemical peel because I tried to prep my skin for one, but the products that I was prepping my skin with were too strong. So I can't. My skin doesn't like a lot of retinols and, acids and stuff like that. So I tried, my skincare routine is pretty basic, believe it or not. Every once in a while I may add I do use retinol scrubs here and there, but I can't use them 2 to 3 times a week, or 3 to 4 times a week like they recommend, because my skin just does not like it. So I always tell people, a lot of people come in, they'll tell me, I want to get a chemical peel. My first question is, why do you want to get a chemical peel? Tell me why. And some people say the craziest things like, I just want to see my skin peel. And I'm like, okay, well, first, if you want a chemical peel from me, you have to do a consultation. And then you have to follow the routine that I'm going to give you and use the products that I'm going to recommend. Because if you don't, I don't want you leaving out of my room and then, I give you a good, consultation. And, because when I do my consultations, I also give them a mini facial so that I can see, what's going on with their skin and stuff like that. And then we come up with a plan. I don't want you to leave me and then go try something, from the store, because then you come back to me for your second appointment and then I put some stuff on your skin and then your skin has this crazy reaction. But you're telling me that you use what I told you to use. So I make people sign contracts and waivers, and you have to listen to me. And if I don't feel like you're going to listen, I'll turn it down, because I don't want you coming back saying, oh, my face broke out because LaRonda did XYZ to me. No, you're not. I'm not going to be the esthetician. I've seen all those horror stories on social media, and I'm just like, dang. And a lot of people are bashing the estheticians, but I'm like, you can't bash the esthetician because you don't know what that client walked out and used on their skin. So it's not always the esthetician's fault, because I've definitely corrected someone's skin before, and I gave her the products that I wanted her to use. And then she had this crazy reaction. And then she came back and I said, what are you using on your skin? And when she sent me the video of the stuff that she was using on her skin, when I tell you it was stuff from Amazon, it was stuff her friends had recommended that are not esthetician. It was stuff that was drying her skin out really bad. And I'm just like, I just don't even, I don't even want to see you as a client, because I don't want you messing up my reputation. So you have to build that relationship with your clients, and you have to have some trust. You guys have to have trust with each other.
That's real. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, y'all. I mean, what I'm hearing is you need to connect with someone who is licensed, really hear what is going to be most beneficial for your skin. I know there's a lot of like things out there in social media that say, oh, you should do this or do that. And that's partially why I was asking about the chemical based like products and things like that, because there is so much on social media of like seeing the skin, and it's like this, there's this sensational views of the products, and what is the intention? So I love that. Yeah, go ahead, LaRonda.
And then one thing I highly, highly recommend, please stop listening to these influencers. They know nothing about skin. They did not go to school, and they are telling people to do the craziest things. And I'm just like, oh my God. And they're influencers. So, sometimes people listen to the influencers over the professional. And I think that's like one of the biggest mistakes that people make.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, I mean, getting into that from the licensed professional, we want to know, what are your current offerings and services, and how people can connect with you so they can get your amazing support in their own skin journey.
Of course. So I am located in San Leandro, California, and I also am trying to connect in the Georgia area. So in December, I'll be taking clients in the Georgia area, but my website is www.cocosbeautiesllc.com, and I have all my appointments on there that can be booked. And then I will have some Black Friday offerings coming up. I have a mentor in Georgia that I just signed up under, and so I'm working on a lot of things on the back end. So stay tuned for all the offerings that I'm going to be posting about. I'm going to be posting a lot of packages. And then I also have another offer that I want to offer to everyone. It's a $50 off gift card. So if you text, I'm trying to make sure, because I just got a text number, because that was one of the things that they taught us about. So I want to make sure that I give you guys the right text number. So if you text the word new to 844-236-1222, you will get an email response, and it will be a $50 gift card off at Coco's Beauties. So I hope people take advantage of that. And I'm going to start having a lot of offerings. So right now I'm in the back working on my packages and stuff like that. And, the little Black Friday deals and stuff the big Black Friday deals that I will be offering. So please come see me. I see men and women. I offer yoni steam services. I have a sauna, skincare treatments, and I do hair removal services, waxing and sugaring. And vajacials. Vajacials is getting big. So for those that don't know, that is a facial for the intimate area, and everyone loves it, because when you come see me, it's an experience.
Yes. Come on, y'all. Okay, so we're going to make sure we put that information in our caption for this video, so you can get the text message number, so you can get to the website, and you can get connected with LaRonda. And, I mean, the medicine is out there too, y'all. Connect in with LaRonda's social media pages, because you can also get your needs met in that way too, if you are not located in the Georgia or California areas. But I am so excited. So thank you for this offering for us and for our audiences. That is so sweet. We were not expecting that, y'all. So just, we always get taken care of here by our guests. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Queens, for having me.
Yes, of course. I'm passing over to LaRisha so we can get into these crystals.
Yes, and I just want to echo that before we go into the crystals. Y'all tap in with LaRonda. It is a whole experience. I've experienced her offerings. Like the moment you walk in the door, the music is playing, the scent is going. It's a whole experience, y'all. You do not want to miss out. So we will again share all of LaRonda's links in our video notes so y'all can tap in immediately. And she is a wealth of knowledge, y'all. So yes. So we're going to navigate into our crystal segment of the show. So today's crystal for support is selenite. Boom, 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 boom. Right here. So LaRonda, do you want to share with our audience how you feel about selenite or anything about it? We also have some things to share, but we want to hear what you got to say.
For me, selenite is a very purifying crystal. 3 years ago, I decided to go on my healing journey because of all the losses that my husband and I experienced within my family, within a matter of 2 years on both sides of our family. So I needed that mental clarity. I wanted to, feel pure. I wanted understanding, and I feel like the selenite crystal helps me with that. I usually have it in my bra. So that I can have it close to me. And it's just been, for me, it's just been very powerful and purifying. And I feel like I've gotten a lot of mental clarity with that crystal.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing so much. Selenite is an amazing crystal for purifying. It's one of the only, maybe one of the only stones that you can put other crystals on to clarify. So selenite really is a purifier of all the energies. You can sit it by your stones, on your body, all the things, y'all. So tap in with selenite if you have not yet for that clarity, calm, and cleansing energy.
Yes.
Yay. Yes, selenite is one of my favorites. It's literally one of my favorite stones because it's just like it does everything. Mm-hmm. It does everything you need, and it transmutes like every energy. So I love it. All right, so let's get into
the larger one. That's the one I keep on my altar because I have one that size, and then the smaller one, I keep that one on me.
Yes, yeah, I love this one because it's like a good surface to put the other crystals on. You can just like lay it either on top of the crystals or the crystals on top of it. So yeah, y'all, so many good juju ways to do this. But yeah, let's get into this affirmation. So our affirmation for today, and we're going to repeat it 3 times, is I set clear boundaries with others so they know how I wish to be loved. I'm going to share that 2 more times. I set clear boundaries with others so they know how I wish to be loved. I set clear boundaries with others so they know how I wish to be loved. Ashe.
And last but not least, we're going to set off our reflection question. So our reflection question we encourage you to tap in with yourself, journal about, is in what ways do I wish to invite more balance into my life? What support do I need to do this? In what ways do I wish to invite more balance into my life? What support do I need to do this? One more time because we like to do things in 3s here. In what ways do I wish to invite more balance into my life? What support do I need to do this?
I love that one. Yes. We're going to be journaling, y'all. We're going to be journaling about this.
Yes.
Thank you, LaRonda. Thank you, audience. Y'all, like, we are here. We're on this healing journey together. Just so grateful for you, LaRonda, coming and sharing about your personal journey and also how you're supporting others in their journey, both for their skin, but also we always know that it's all connected, right? It is all connected. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for being here. And y'all, make sure, like, subscribe,
And
share this. Yeah, share this with your people so we can spread this healing. That's what we're here to do. So thank you all.
Thank you all. We will see you next time.
Peace, y'all.